You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about the potential exodus from the NFL of rookies that don't make a squad or maybe looking at a practice squad situation, bolting back to college football. I've made a couple of videos about this. I first suggested this last year and said I believed this was coming, and that eventually you will actually see guys that are in the draft while the draft is going on turning around and going back to college if they drop too far in the draft. Now we've got them literally going through training camps, playing in preseason games, and then back to college. There was a court ruling the other day. The rule is if you came in 2022, etc., you get five years of eligibility in 5 years, something like that. All I know is it's crazy. All right, it's crazy. But I knew this was going to happen. Look, again, all these college rules, they're just arbitrary. You can't really tell somebody that doesn't have an actual active roster spot. They're not in the NFL. They have never played in an actual regular season NFL game. So I knew eventually that was going to fall. Now, if you play in a game, an actual game, yeah, you want to go play somewhere else, it better be the UFL or the CFL or the AFL. I think it's actually came back or coming back. I don't know. But you get my point, right? The other day, I jokingly suggested that Diego Pavia might end up going back to college football, although I wasn't really joking. Now, he might have to file his own lawsuit, and you may be like, didn't he play like 1,900 years of college football? I understand you saying this, because when you add in JUCO and along with his 4 years in at the NC2A Division I level, he's played like 6 years or some shit. It's a lot of years. But he hadn't played 5 years at the actual D1 level. You see the avenue for him to actually come back? Dude, maybe, to quote Deadpool, how long is Diego Pavia going to play in college football? Till you're 90. That may happen. And I said, what would be crazy is Bill Belichick could go snag a Diego Pavia and have a real quarterback that UNC probably could use, frankly. We're talking about the Heisman runner-up. We're also talking about a program that allegedly sniffed around Quinn Ewers and offered him like $5 million to come in UNC instead of going in the NFL draft. You see, these players, a lot of this comes back to just NIL. Simply put, they can make more money in college than they can either in the unemployment line in the NFL or even on a practice squad. It would take an actual active NFL roster for it to be worth it for some of these players. And even at that, if they've got a 6th or 7th round contract, they're going to make more money in college. So you see the issue. A lot of people are really angry about this. I heard John Middlecoff at the 3 and Out podcast talking about this. And this has been known that this was coming. This is going to happen. There's college programs that have been eyeing these NFL rookies for weeks now. And there's also word that maybe somewhere around after week 0, there may be a transfer portal open. It could get crazy. In this seemingly never-ending age of court rulings, temporary injunctions, and temporary restraining orders, for college football eligibility, a new piece to the puzzle was officially introduced on Wednesday night, one that Bill Belichick and North Carolina are monitoring closely. A local Louisiana judge granted a temporary restraining order for 16 college football players from the class of 2022 to enter the transfer portal, giving them a fifth season of eligibility. This, however, is different from the Colorado class action preliminary injunction that before it was overturned by the 10th Circuit on Friday, gave the 22 class another year. The Wednesday ruling in Louisiana included several players who participated in NFL training camps. Some even played in preseason games. For the North Carolina Tar Heels, Coach Bill Belichick said Friday that they are looking in to potentially adding one or more of the 16 players to their roster. Quote, "We've looked at a number of them," Belichick said on Friday. "Each case is a little bit different. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't think there's anything we're counting on, but we're always open to anything that will help the team." And guys, that's exactly the way this is being looked at by the colleges. For now, more than a dozen players newly eligible to play college football in 2026 after the Louisiana ruling, including several former NFL players Belichick and UNC are closely monitoring and could add a final touch or two to the roster. By the way, I believe it's in Ireland. I think it's next weekend. Belichick, UNC versus TCU. I don't think I'm going crazy. I think that's next week. I think it's the biggest college football game in week 0, actually. North Carolina and against TCU. So let me just look, because I just looked at this. Yep, there it is right there. North Carolina and TCU, Dublin, Ireland. In fact, I believe my boy Mick Walsh is going to that game. He lives there. And I think he said it may be the only game he's going to this year. But he wants to go see Belichick coach, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's the greatest coach of all time. He wants to go check him out. This is going to be a very interesting season for North Carolina. And, the recruiting classes haven't been bad. But can you win 6 games? Can you win 6 games? Because right now, it looks like firing Mac Brown might have been an utter and complete disaster for Bill Belichick. This is going to get very interesting. When I looked at their schedule, I saw what I thought the only for sure's was like 4 wins. And then there's like another 3 where they got a real chance. Not exactly an 8-win season. But you never know. Everything could work. A fumble here, an interception here, a touchdown here, a kickoff, punt return here. You look up, somehow, some way, a Diego Pavia here as quarterback. And you look up and maybe North Carolina's got 8 wins. 7 wins would be insane. 7 or 8 wins, that'd be nuts. Tell me what you think. I'm telling you, this is going to start being commonplace in college football. I believe it. I believe every year you're going to see guys go to training camp, play in preseason games, go back to school. That's going to be a whole new storyline. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.